Questions flooding into the mind of the concerned young ampaholic slash pack rat closing out 2021. I happen to have this kicking around. I happen to have this. And this had a bunch of rotten wires, and I disassembled it and put all new wires in, and all the voltages test good. It's a nice little power transformer from, looks like 1961 or 51. Probably 61. And then also, we were throwing this out. So I was perusing one of my favorite web pages, the Fender Tube Amp Field Guide, and looking for possibilities here. And I came up with this. What would happen if I put two 6BQ5 7189s instead of these, and drill an extra hole right there and jam the two transformers there and cram it in this cabinet with a 6x9 speaker that I have in 16 ohms. What would happen? You know, I've heard people say that the Harvard is the same as the Princeton, and I beg to differ. It's different in many basic ways. First of all, that, and that. Okay, it doesn't have two. Princeton is a single-ended. It doesn't have that tube. So, we'll see what we see. I'm going to start assembling parts. Okay, here's the tentative layout for the bottom. I'm going to have my two 7189s, 12AX7, 6AT6. Nice 16 ohm output transformer. Everything's all jammed on there. I was going to put the transformer over here, but this will be better for hum. All right, starting to get excited here. And this will be the front panel. On-off switch, tone, fuse, pilot light, and cool old switch. I think I can jam it all on here. Point to point, of course. So I was cruising on the internet, and Uncle Doug had a Harvard, and they used, instead of a 6AT6, they used a 6AV6 on the early model, which had a higher gain. So I'm going to use that going into a 12AX and two 6BQ5s. Alrighty. Got some of the holes drilled for the transformers. You're going to have the output transformer is going to go right there. Power transformer there. 5Y3, 6BQ, I can do this. 6BQ5s pair, 12AX7, and a 6AV6 right there. Onward. And here's the hole successfully drilled for all the tubes. Okay, now the Holes are successfully drilled for the front panel. Time to do a little cosmetic work. Oh yeah. All right, got the holes done. I'm gonna like this. Unfortunately, the paint peeled when I peeled off the painter's tape, which isn't supposed to do that. But hey, it gives it vintage curb appeal. Onward. Tube snockets installed. You know, just for gits and shiggles, I thought I'd just put all the components in there and see what they look like. Man, that looks great. It is going to be tight in there. No doubt about it. Where the caps are going to go is a big concern. The other components are going to fit point to point. I'm going to have to rig something up for the caps. So we'll see. I'll figure it out. Alright, so here's what I got. I got a terminal strip for the bias and the bias cap, which is gonna be that bias cap right there, and this resistor and rectifier, selenium rectifier, are all gonna go right in here. And then here we got terminal strip going this way, and also one going up and down this way. So I'm gonna stack them. I'm gonna have one on the bottom here, one above it, and one here and one above it. So that'll be 3 of them stacked there. 1, 2, 3. They're gonna be stacked like that, theoretically. I'm going up. Whenever you run out of real estate, what do? You go up. I'll make that work if it hair lips every cow in Texas. Alrighty. Part of doing these crazy parts amps is thinking ahead. So I think that this is going to work. It's getting there. Oh yeah. How about that for a mess? Here's my fixed bias, power supply, and going off to the hinterlands. Alrighty, making progress. Alright, so I've got all the power supply wired up, and I'm gonna turn it on. I got it plugged into my current limiter and my variac, and I'm gonna turn it on. Got the switch is already on, so I'm gonna turn on the variac and slowly crank the AC up. Make sure I got no shorts here other than what I'm wearing. So far, no glow. Got it up to about 30 volts. Got a little bit of pilot light coming on, but no glow at all. Okay. It's cranked up to 120 and 0 glow. So that means I'm going to double check all these voltages here, but I'm pretty sure I got it going. And just don't stick your finger in there, okay, future users? Please. So far, so good. after measuring the voltage on that transformer, I've made the executive decision that it's going to be cathode biased, because that thing just wasn't putting out enough juice. That, I don't know what that was, but it's low voltage. This here blue wire here, I don't know what it may not be I assumed it was bias voltage, but it's so low, and it got lower once I hooked everything up to where it's unusable. So we're going with the cathode bias. So it's going to be a cathode bias Harvard sort of thing. Here's an update. That blue wire, and the original color was blue, is a center tap, you dolt. Ha ha ha. Here's an update on this, starting on the preamp side. Looking good. Here's the progress. Almost done with the wiring. I added in another terminal board here just so things weren't so cramped. Didn't help, did it? Well, it kind of did. Anyways, got about 3 or 4 more resistors to wire up here. And then we're going to try and fire it up and see what kind of blue lightning we get. Alrighty. Okay, I've got all the wiring done. I've got it plugged in and powered up. Plugged into my current limiter and my variac. Just checking for any crazy dead shorts before I wire up the heaters and plug in the tubes. So, okay, looking good. Alrighty, old sweetie. Heater wire progress. Alright, got all the heater wiring done, and I'm ready to fire this tiny terror up. So what I'm going to do is I plug it into my current limiter, which is in the variac. I'll dial that up, and I got this not so great P10P 16 ohm. It's a hi-fi speaker. It's not going to sound that great, but it's a handy 16 ohm speaker just to see if things are working. So, and I got the switch on, so here we go. Turning on the variac. It's up to about 30 volts. It's going up to 60. No glow from my current limiter, which is always a good thing. The AC light's coming on. I forgot to mention, by the way, that I do have it plugged into my signal generator. And we're up to about, oh, here it comes. When I turn it all the way off, it's getting a nasty squeak. Alright, I'm going to shut it off. That, in all probability, is the squealing is probably going to be remedied by reversing the output transformer wires. First thing I do before I mess around and not get a shock is drain these little guys here. Drain them. Alright, let's swap the wires and see if that helps. Alright, let's try it again. I got the wire swapped. By the way, I'm amazed that I got sound out of it first time out of the gate. So here we go. Cranking it right on up. Got the volume turned down. Tubes are all lighting up nicely. No sound yet. Huh. Yeah, the speaker connection was faulty. So now, tone's working. So I don't know what it's going to sound like with a guitar, but I got a shit ton of volume. Oh. So, yeah. Crappy speaker. But okay, let's see what I can come up with. So I've been getting a horrible sound out of this Harvard. And I'm going to trace the signal in an attempt to figure out where the horrible sound is coming from. Here's the input signal. I'm going from my signal generator to the input, and here's the signal. Okay, I'll go to the next stage here. This is just on the other side of the resistors, and watch what happens when I turn the volume up. Oh, look at that. Same thing for the tone control. I've got some parasitic oscillation there. Let's go to the first grid. Okay, so this is on the other side of the tube going into the volume control. Let me adjust this signal. It's highly amplified. And still got that parasitic oscillation when I crank the volume. I'm going to go to the grid of the power tubes now. So watch what happens when I turn the volume up here. Now that's a weird and wacky, that's cranked all the way. That is one weird and wacky signal. This is at the 220 resistors that are part of the phase inverter section. So I've got something weird going on with my phase inverter, I do believe. I don't think it's wires, even though there is a lot of close wires in there, because I've wiggled lots of the wires, all the wires, and I can't make it change. Just for giggles, I swapped the output transformer wires, and look at that. That's what the volume turned down. Ooh, man, we got some problems here. It's better with it the other way, so I'm going to swap that back. This is such tight quarters to try and trace where I know my wiring error has to be, very probably. I employed my handy barrel Primzacolor thick lead art pencils, and I went ahead, because I'm not a genius with the colors yet, and I went and colored all the resistors in just to make triple sure that I got everything going the way it should. This one's been a real head scratcher, and all the voltages are like really right on. I traced the signal all the way out to the phase inverters there, where it goes really weird and crazy. I rewired it, and now the signal seems a little better. I mean, I checked the wiring, but I'm suspecting the output transformer. I've got another identical output transformer. I pulled these out of an old Leslie. Don't worry, it was the wrong model, I was assured by a Hammond B3 player. So I'm going to just tack this one in and see if that's in fact what it is. I truly am the mad scientist of the blues. You know, I tacked in this, sorry for the camera. I tacked this in. This is the same exact output transformer. I know it can't be this because I used the eeny, meeny, miny, mo method, and this landed on mo. So that means it's mo better. So I'm going to fire it up just to see, just to rule it out. Okay, I got my shit. Take two. Okay, I got my terrible D'Angelico shop guitar in hand. The new transformer wired in, the new output transformer. And I'm going to flick on the Variac. Got the volume up about a third of the way. And see what happens. Whoop. Not crazy about that JBL, but it may be blown for all I know. More tone. Whoa, that doesn't sound good. I think that's the speaker, but I'm not sure. There it is, about 3/4 of the way up. Seems okay. I'm not sure about that speaker. That's a hi-fi speaker from the 50s, basically untested. I'm going to try a different speaker configuration just to eliminate that. It sounds good. Progress. So I've been literally puzzling over this for weeks, and there's been a couple of things that made a difference. I ran the cathode bypass directly up here, just like the layout, instead of going straight to ground. I didn't think it made a difference, but it seemed to. But here's the real puzzler. So I was having some parasitic oscillations. So watch what happens here when I turn on and power up. Okay, so I've got it running, and turn up the volume. Look at that. Crazy parasitic oscillation. Just crazy. Up, down. And then, watch what happens now. I knew it was something. It's gone. You know what it is? My oscilloscope tracer. So here I'm moving it down, here I'm moving it up. It's interfering with the output There it goes down and up. That's your parasitic oscillation. When I go over to, for instance, okay, I just disconnected it. Here it is with the probe connected to the grid of the output tubes, and I'm turning the volume up and down. That's going all the way up to complete distortion and back down. So, time to, I think I got it dialed in. Here's my tone control. This is much better than it was. So, here it is. I'm semi-happy now, if that's possible. Just a quick recap of everything I've done. Pardon the pun. Poor sound quality, I believe, was from a bad cathode cap by Mojo Tone, or no, sorry, TAD. All right, I'm just going to toss that just for safekeeping. And change that tone cap there, and rerouted the cathode cap, so it's now going the way the layout suggested, which is right there up to the ground here. And fired it up. It's good. So now I'm going to make a cabinet for it to reside in. Well, third time's the charm, I hope. Can't win for losing. So this output transformer had a, well, actually not this one, the one I took out, had a bad intermittent connection here. It was causing a horrible oscillation, shorting out internally. So I took it out of there, and when I was getting ready to wire it up and took the wire out, I broke that tube socket contact there. So now I got to remove that whole tube socket before I can wire it in. As I said, and Pine Top used to say, can't win for losing. Alrighty. Couple of things here. Replaced the pot, the tone pot. I was getting oscillation, and I traced it to these wires coming, going to the plates. So I shielded them on one side and grounded them. Put some spacers under there, and I'm going to fire it up now and see what happens. All right. Got it plugged into my Variac current limiter. One more time. I'm going to fire it up. Here I go. I got everything cranked. Let me turn the volume down just in case there's any insanity. All right. Just got the volume up a little bit. Here it comes. The tone, which was howling horribly at the highest setting, is now functioning correctly, and I'm just going to go all in. There, that's peg. Oh yeah. All right, shut it down. Everything's good. Nice. Here's a little preview of the cabinet I've knocked out for this. Just banged it together real quick. At long last, here it is. Just whip the cabinet out real quick. Just bang that cabinet out. And yeah, this is the heck is this? I don't even remember anymore. It's a Harvard, sort of. Not really. Here's the inside. It's not done, but it's just cosmetic. I'm gonna make like a little something to block this off so no freaking morons will stick their fingers in there like me while it's plugged in. And here's my US Navy surplus speakers, and I'm gonna put a little back door here. But for right now, I'm ready to do a sound demo on it because the wife's not home. I couldn't find a decent guitar to do this demo with, so I just grabbed this junker here. Okay, here's the sound demo. As you can probably see, volume and tone are up a halfway. I'm plugged into the middle channel. The third channel, for some reason, or sorry, third input, it's a little noisy. I don't care. Okay, one thing I noticed with this, there's not a lot of gain, and it's not real bright like some Fender amps, but it's a great student amp. This is everything peg. Well, that's about it for this Frankincense, Harvard, sorta. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. Hope this helps.